What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about some things that are very important. 2021 was just a crazy year for real estate, and 2022 is gearing up to be an even crazier one. Now, real estate, with it being the largest asset class size, it's important, especially if you're living in the U.S., to pay attention to things. So we're going to be looking at things a little bit more macroeconomically, and especially if you are looking to get a house this year, this is information that you will want to pay attention to. Or even if you're not trying to get a house this year, you're going to find this information useful because, again, everything really is tied to what is happening economically. And a lot of questions that I am getting now are still like, why is the housing supply still so low? It's literally 2022. Why can we not get more houses up? So let's just dig into why and what is going on. I think a lot of you will find this very interesting. So essentially, I wanted to show you this chart right here. This is going to be one of the biggest factors for really what is going on right now and the really high prices. So new home construction actually is behind. You see here this chart. This is actually the new home or single family housing units completed over the past several decades. And you can just see here that essentially what had happened was right up at the last financial crash recession back in 2008, we essentially had 4 consecutive years of record-setting numbers of units being built. So essentially what had happened was there was just a lot of inventory on the market. And so builders really right after that correction, they were at a all-time low. You see there's right below a 50-year average. So it's just taking a long time, and out even through the end of 2020. Now we don't have, this is actually based off of census data, so we don't have 2021 data yet, but it's going to be right there still under that long-term average. So it really, we just see that houses are not, we just don't have the supply of homes that are being built. They've just been dropping. And now with the pandemic and with the supply chain issues, there's just a lot of catching up that builders are just now starting to do. So there is good news. Now you see here, the pandemic obviously has had a big play on it as well. Now this article on Realtor.com that I found very illuminating. Really, what is the biggest difference between before the pandemic and now? So you see over the past 2 years that the pandemic has raged. You see the number of homes actually plunged by over 57%, leading prices to skyrocket 25% from December of 19 to December 2021. Last month, the number of home listings dropped 26.8% compared with the same time a year ago. This meant that there were about 177,000 fewer homes listed in what's already typically a slower month due to the holidays and colder weather, which few folks really want. Who wants to get out there and look at homes in the cold, right? So essentially, though, the Realtor.com chief economist Danielle Hale, she said, we expect that we'll see, or start to see rather, a turnaround in inventory will stabilize and start to go up a little bit in 2022. And we're going to dig into why that is. So essentially, she says that means we're looking at inventory levels of roughly half of what we saw before the pandemic. Now, for buyers, the market is likely to continue to move fast. So if you see a home you like, you want to jump on it right away. Now, actually, in the market that I am here in Greenville, it is actually the 7th hottest market in all of the United States right now. So just the challenge, though, kind of going back to our point here with the inventory issues, is just a lot of people were very nervous about people being in their homes. So you see here, now, buyers rushed into the market to get larger homes during the height of the pandemic, and they basically took advantage of all the very low rates that were happening. Now, rates are going to go up, so you're seeing like an effect of that. The median home price, list price, was $375,000 just in this past December. Now, that's actually down a little from the record high of $385,000 over the summer, which is when prices are usually a little bit higher. But you're going to see, obviously, different markets are going to have different rates that they appreciate. Now, what's actually being done about it? Are we going to see new homes being built? Now, this right here, multifamily housing boosts U.S. home building. Supply constraints are unrelenting. Now, essentially, a lot more. You see housing starts are actually increased 1.4% in December. So what that is that just means new homes being built, 1.4% increase, which is what we need to see to begin to start seeing more supply come on to the market. U.S. home building rose to a 9-month high in December amid a surge in multifamily housing. So a lot of the new homes being built are actually 5 units and over. Soaring prices for materials after the government nearly doubled duties on imported Canadian softwood lumber could hamper activity later this year. Builders are gladly trying to meet demand, but supply problems and labor shortages are slowing them down, said Jennifer Lee, a senior economist at BMO Capital Markets in Toronto. And it's just the lumber, and lumbers have very volatile, it's gone up, it's gone down, it's going up again, and really you're just seeing the volatile multifamily housing segment accounted for a rise in home building last month, with starts for buildings with 5 units or more surging 13.7%. Now, a lot of you watching may be just interested in single-family houses, but single-family housing starts, which account for the largest share of the housing market, dropped 2.3% in this past month. So, and a lot of that was actually here in the South. The densely populated South, where the bulk of home building occurs, reported an 8.2% decrease in single-family starts. So that's important to know what's going on. Now, again, it's mainly because of the supply chain issues that we're having. Now, what do some other experts expect for new construction, right? 2021 was definitely a boom year, and to be honest, its demand for new homes is going to stay high. Now, many buyers hope the housing market will cool down in 22, and while experts don't think it will be as competitive, it's unlikely to be a dramatic shift. Really, it's essentially at least not one that's going to turn the market away from being seller-friendly. It's still going to be seller-friendly. Why is that, though? Mainly because of millennials in their late 20s to 40s. They're coming of age where they can buy their first homes. You see here, several real estate experts have identified this as a key aspect of the housing boom, with no signs of dissipating in 2022. Some states even suggested that Gen Z entering their 20s is contributing to the surge in young people purchasing homes. So lots of people at the same time, thousands of buyers entering the market. Remote work is settling in for good. So we just have a lot of these factors kind of going on. People are able to buy houses that they want now. They can, while rates were low, they could buy typically more larger houses than they would have been otherwise able to afford. And really the big thing is that there's just more people. There's such a high demand here. An estimated 12.3 million new households formed in the U.S. between 2012 and 2021. But here's the kicker. During this period, only 7 million new homes were built. So new home construction was already behind before the pandemic, which only made it more challenging to keep up with demand. So that is going to be a key thing, and it may take several years for us to see the impact where we do have more inventory, where it may switch more to a buyer's market, right? In 2021, we had just the impact of the labor shifts as well, just people leaving their jobs. It just meant that fewer people would be able to afford or buy new houses. Now, with the rates going up, let's touch on that, because the Fed, with inflation being at 7% basically at the time of this video, and that's CPI data. Now, the interest rates are going to have to be raised. The Fed's predicting as early as March they're going to start raising the rates. Now, how high they'll raise them, who knows? Fannie Mae here's forecasting a rising in mortgage rates, and home prices will dent existing home sales by 3.2%. So they're saying that existing home sales are going to go down, right? So now you see here, this is actually, we expect the narrative around housing this year to shift from one of extremely limited inventories leading to hyper-competitive bidding wars to one in which increasingly more would-be home buyers are just priced out of the market, said a Fannie Mae economist in a commentary. This was actually their latest monthly forecast. So you see here on this chart, hopefully you can see here, this is just, it shows new and existing home sales from 2020, 2021, and what they're expecting for 2022 and 2023. And you see here in 2020, there was actually 5.64 existing homes sold and 822,000 new homes of that. And then in 2021, 6.14 existing homes, 6.14 million existing homes, and 770,000. So these numbers of new homes being built, the new construction, new housing starts are what we are looking for that need to be increased. So Fannie Mae economists see sales of existing homes falling by 3.2% this year to 5.945 million. basically it would be the second best year since 2006. So this 2006. So this still, it is going to be home prices, I predict, may not go up at as large of an appreciation year over year. You might not see a 10 to 20% appreciation, but essentially as rates go up, there's going to be potentially just less people that are, quite frankly, able to afford it as easily as they are now. Now, some people think, well, will house prices go down? Where is that supposed to be things? So you see here, really, will home prices or rents finally fall? And this is what some experts are anticipating, right? The Realtor.com 2022 housing forecast anticipates that the market will continue slowing down from the frenzy seen in the spring when prices shot up to new heights. Like I said, so the bottom line is, even as the market calms down further, it's still expected to be challenging for buyers, especially first-time home buyers. Now, if you are a first-time home buyer, me and my team, we specialize in helping you really not only get your credit where it needs to be, but also find the best mortgage option. You don't want to just blindly march in without really understanding your numbers, how much you can afford, what mortgage insurance is, some different options to really make that payment and that decision the best for you and your family. But really, home prices are going to stay high, but price growth will continue slowing. So prices, they're not going to drop. They might not keep going up, shooting up really as high, but we're going to see, that the price growth is just going to slow. So, that means double-digit price growth that confounded buyers earlier this year is expected to taper off. So, like I said, it's one of those things where we're really going to be having to watch what the Fed is going to do and really watching how much homes are being built and really what happens this year with that. Now, wanted to share this lastly before we wrap this up. You see here, the competition will be fierce for homes in 2022's 10 hottest real estate markets. So if you're watching this video and you are in one of these hot hubs, actually here they are right in here. Number one is Salt Lake City, Utah, 23.7% combined sales and price growth year over year. Boise, Idaho, number two, 20.8%. Spokane, Washington, 20.5%. Indianapolis, 20.4, Columbus, you see, and then Greenville, Anderson, Malden, South Carolina, actually the area I'm in, that is 17.1%. So Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, you see here, we are actually number 7 in the country, followed by Seattle at number 8, and Worcester, Connecticut, number 9, and Tampa, Florida, number 10. So you're really... that just means it's even going to be more competitive in those markets. There's just not a lot of inventory. But keep your head up. Things are going to change. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and especially if you are a first-time home buyer there. If you're working with a great agent, you're working with a good realtor who knows how to find the hottest listings quick, then you will be good. And if you, like I said, need help getting financing and getting connected to some of those amazing realtors that can help you find a house even in the super limited and competitive market, hit me up, shoot me a message. I would love to hear from you. I love to chat money with anybody all day long. And really, I hope you found some value from this of what is going on. Hopefully this answers some questions. I know I get a lot of questions all the time from referral partners and from clients. So hopefully this sheds some light on things and helps give some clarity on what is going on in the market. So thanks for watching this video. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next one.